Welcome back to the Relius Reviews. My name is Terrell, and today's video is focused on 2021's Netflix movie Night in Paradise. And the synopsis of the movie is: hiding out in Jeju Island following a brutal tragedy, a wronged mobster with a target on his back connects with a woman who has her own demons. I just got done finishing this movie, and I would just have to say it's just wow. I think this movie is pretty good in my honest opinion. Was it slow at times? Absolutely. But at the same time, like the last half of that movie definitely saved the movie to me in my honest opinion. And here is my review on the matter. What I like first and foremost about this movie would have to be the locations. Like, this is a Korean movie. Like, the locations were pretty nice in my opinion. Cinematography was nice. I think that the cinematography of this movie, the like the locations, how things were done in that aspect, it made the movie pretty good in my opinion. What I also liked about the movie would be the cast members as well. And I am talking about the two main characters with Tae-gul and Jiyeon Yeo-bin playing as Park and Jae. I think those two, I think the main characters of this movie was done. They acted pretty well. I think all the actors did a good job, but I think with the two main characters, I think the way they interacted with one another was pretty good in my opinion. How you can tell they're not really friends and they're not really in a relationship, but they're just together for certain reasons. It was done pretty well. With how the movie ends and everything, it's kind of hard to tell. I would say what I did not like about this movie would probably have to be maybe its pacing. Now, do not get me wrong. The movie started off with a pretty strong start, in my opinion. Within the first 15 minutes, you get to see as to why Park wants revenge, as to why Park wants justice because of what happens as he suffers the horrible loss. And I'm kind of glad that they did that, like showing like the tragedy in the very beginning instead of just having that in like the middle or like the very end of the movie. I was very glad that they did that. As for like some of the scenes with the other gangsters and everything just talking, it wasn't bad, but at the same time, it was kind of boring to say the least. Like, I know as to why those were important to have, but I probably would have preferred it like less of those scenes altogether. What I also probably did not like about this movie would probably have to be maybe the time. Like, this movie is somewhat of a long movie. It's over 2 hours and like 10 minutes long. Like, a lot of like some of the scenes in this movie were really not necessary, and it could have been cut back maybe with like 5 to like a 15-minute time span. I thought this movie definitely did have a lot of action, as it definitely did have action in the very beginnings of the movie, but as like the middle of the movie, there wasn't really that much action. Like, there was some action, but it was just like not that much. I would have liked to see just like a little bit more, like not too much action, but just like a little bit of more action just in the movie, because this movie definitely did have some crazy action. However, though, the action by the very end of the movie definitely saved this movie in my opinion. Like, Jay, who played by Jun Yu Bean, I'm sorry if I butchered her name, I apologize. Like, she is going through a respiratory illness. She could be dying and everything. Like, she's lost everything in her life, her family, and the people that she's loved. And what she does in the very end of the movie is shocking. Well, not very shocking because of what happens throughout this movie, but I would say that I was really, really blown away with what happens with what she does by the end of this movie. As I'll say that justice was served in her sense and in Park's sense, as his fate is definitely decided before the ending of this movie. Like, I still cannot believe that she did all of that, but at the same time, I was really happy that she did that. And maybe what happens in the ending, like the ending of the movie, like, yeah, what she does give out a gunshot, but you don't hear like a body falling. You don't hear that. It could have been a gunshot to the air. It could have been a gunshot to the police. Like, I wanted to know like what exactly happens to her, but there's a good chance she decided to just end it all because she was at that point of her life where she had nothing to lose, and she definitely did not have nothing to lose with by the ending of this movie. But out of all, this movie is a pretty good movie in my opinion. Yeah, the movie is definitely long to say the least, but at the same time, with what happens and with the ending itself, I think this is a pretty enjoyable movie. Now, I would probably rate this movie maybe 3 stars out of 5. Like, this movie definitely does a lot in this movie. You have a lot of like emotions riled up, sadness, justifications, psycho people, and that is pretty much it with this movie. Like, thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe and comment. And until next time, goodbye.